This training is intended to teach employees about the city's non-discrimination ordinance and related employee personnel policies, as well as apply the scenarios discussed and language used to interactions they may have on the job.
Each employee comprises a part of the overall image that the city projects to its citizens. As a representative of the city, it is important that your actions reflect the values that the city is committed to upholding. The city believes that discrimination threatens the rights and privileges of citizens and harms the community. Providing individuals with protection from discrimination contributes to the creation of a diverse and welcoming community that promotes harmony and mutual respect, which is in the public interest. Federal and state laws prohibit discrimination against individuals on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, age, familial status, veteran status, disability, or genetic information. The laws prohibit discrimination in employment, public accommodations, and housing. The governing body of the City of Manhattan has adopted an ordinance that mirrors these federal and state laws. An ordinance is a law that only applies within the city limits of Manhattan. The city's ordinance prohibits discrimination based upon the classes protected by the federal and state laws, as well as sexual orientation and gender identity in public accommodations, employment, and housing. A public accommodation means any city facility, service, or accommodation open to the public. Some examples of public accommodations include city pools and parks, the Flint Hills Discovery Center, Sunset Zoo, and city-organized sports programs, events, and activities. Sexual orientation is defined as one's perceived or actual emotional, romantic, or sexual attraction to other people. It can be described as heterosexual, homosexual, or bisexual. Gender identity is defined as one's perceived or actual self-identification as a male or female, regardless to one's anatomical sex at birth. It can be described as cisgender or transgender. If a city employee discriminates against a person on the basis of race, sex, familial status, veteran status, disability, religion, age, color, national origin, or ancestry, the individual may file a complaint with the state or federal government. However, because the state of Kansas does not provide protection from discrimination for sexual orientation or gender identity, the city ordinance created a local protection and complaint process. If a person feels that a city employee discriminated against them based upon gender identity or sexual orientation, the person may file a complaint with the city attorney's office. If a person has any questions about the city's discrimination ordinance, you may refer the person to speak with the city's attorney.
Public restrooms and changing facilities are also examples of public accommodations. Therefore, individuals may use public restrooms or changing facilities that conform to their gender identity. Here are a few scenarios employees may encounter while on the job and how they should be handled. Suppose a citizen at the pool sees a transgender individual in one of the changing rooms, and they approach a pool employee to address the issue. As an employee, it is your job to address the patron's concerns. In this instance, ask the complainant about the individual's behavior and inform the complainant that the city allows patrons to use the facilities that conform to their gender identity. In the event that a complaining customer insists that an individual is using a facility incorrectly or inappropriate behavior is occurring, it is the employee's duty to investigate the situation. Verify that all patrons in the bathroom are using the facility for its intended purposes. Do not hover or stare at a patron who is using the bathroom as intended. Only enforce the facility's rules and regulations for bathroom use fairly and equally. An employee should not, in any circumstance, ask for ID or verification of gender of any individual, refuse to admit a person to a city facility because of their sexual orientation or gender identity, make offensive or rude comments to or about a person based upon their sexual orientation or gender identity, mandate that a person use a certain bathroom or locker room, or refuse to let a person use the bathroom or locker room that coincides with their gender identity, or ask a person if they are using the right facility. What employees should do is verify that all individuals using the facility are using them appropriately. When speaking with customers, be courteous and polite. If unsure of an individual's preferred gender, use gender-neutral pronouns. Remain calm and report to a supervisor if an issue arises. After you investigated the facility in question, let the complainant know you have checked the facility and all individuals were acting appropriately. If a customer insists further action should be taken, direct them to your supervisor who can speak with the patron. Your supervisor may direct the customer to the city attorney's office if the issue cannot be resolved. If at any point during these interactions you become uncomfortable or are unsure how to respond, refer to your supervisor for guidance. There are many other situations you may encounter that will involve citizens' viewpoints that do not align with city values, so it is important to be calm, respectful, and always refer to the city's policies and procedures when interacting with customers. The scenarios and guidelines that have been presented in this video represent the City of Manhattan's standard for customer service, as well as how employees should respect all citizens and prevent acts of discrimination toward any individual. Protection from discrimination and harassment based on all protected classes listed in this video, including sexual orientation and gender identity, also apply to the workplace and your fellow employees. For further information regarding the City of Manhattan's non-discrimination ordinance, please contact the City Attorney's Office with any questions. If you have any questions regarding the City of Manhattan's personnel policies relating to equal employment opportunity and harassment, please contact the Director of Human Resources.